Hello everybody, welcome to tonight's stream. So what we got pulled up here first on the chart right now is Bitcoin. This is what we've been watching for the past 3-4 days. So I know it seems like a little redundant, some of these things, but it's because our plan doesn't change. Okay, all we're doing is allowing it to develop and play out. That's why we look at similar things. Tonight we'll do a little, more of the alts and whatnot. I just wanted to really quick recap on this Bitcoin play here, that what we're looking for. We're trying to get down into this long entry area, right? Our buy zone between like 56.2, and I don't think it's going to go down here as low as 54 or nothing, but 55, that's something else that we see. This back here, we have like basically a potential square up area. Let me do you guys a favor real quick. Let me just bring this volume down. Sorry about that. Okay, maybe you could hear me better now. Okay, we're back. All right, so anyways, basically what we're looking at is somehow we got to get down into our buy zone area, okay? And what looking back over here to the left, we have this potential area here where traders kind of settle. We basically kind of put in this little double bottom here, and then we sent it, right? We never came back to this area yet. So for me, looking at something like that, allowing price to fall down into our buy zone, but also hit this green line, which would test this, square this area up right here, and that is as low as 55,000. So we got to just be mindful of that, that 55,000 maybe, we may see it. Don't be alarmed if that were to happen. I'm sure if we did see it, it would be a pretty flash wick that would get bought up really, really fast. So yeah, let's just keep an eye out on that. Okay, so as we're approaching this area, a couple things are going to stop price though, okay? So we're going to have this ABCD pattern that's targeting a 1272 kind of retracement. Something like that, where we basically put in the A, B, C. It was pretty much a 618 retrace, right? 618 golden retrace, and then we're looking for this 1272 right here, okay? So this 1272 XABCD pattern, that puts us right into our buy zone, kind of our little pocket target area, okay? So what we want to identify next is couple things. So we can probably bring this buy zone now a little bit tighter to the bottom side and actually lower it a little bit on the bottom side. Okay, so if that makes sense, that would be something more as far as our area. We're still at 56.2, but that's basically right where the layering starts. So yeah, just be mindful of that. Hopefully you guys are able to get into the new YouTube link, okay? And if not, you're just on the old Twitch link. We should be streaming to both of them, and ideally these should be recording at this point. So okay, so if we clean this up, we know we're targeting this buy zone area here. Again, let's use our XABCD. X, we can go here, A, B, C, D, and we have something like this going on. So just be aware that this is our area, okay? So ideally we want to sweep this previous low here. So that previous low that we're looking to sweep is here. So if we could sweep that low, that would also kind of basically, in order to sweep that low, right, if price action is going to come down here and actually sweep it, it basically forces itself into our buy area before we kind of take off to the upside, right? So same plan on Bitcoin. Let's take a look at Ethereum. Okay, so on Ethereum, now that we've basically are kind of looking at this as this is developing, right, we just kind of fine-tune things. So at this point, we're looking for a similar, again, A, B, C, D pattern. So this C put in about a 70% retrace, kind of squared up with this previous two highs up here, squared up, and now it's proceeding to sell off. So again, we're looking for a 1272 fib retracement here. So the 1272 now falls right here, right into our buy zone. This pocket on Ethereum is between 1930 basically and 1950. So again, looking back here, ideally we square up with this candle maybe here, right in the buy pocket again. So that is what we're looking for on Ethereum. Again, if we were to take this, let me get rid of this. Okay, if we were to take this XABCD, XA, B, C, D, again 786, right? So 786 retracement. This would be a Gartley on Ethereum in the buy zone at the top of this critical. We're basically above this support, or above this previous resistance, right? So we would basically be back testing that and regarding it now as support. If we can do that and we do it with a Gartley, that is going to be a really, really nice area to shoot the highs, okay? So that's what we're looking for still on ETH, same plan. Again, layer longs 1930 to 1950. Next, we're looking over at Litecoin. Let me get rid of this as well. Okay, so Litecoin, basically here we have something interesting happening where Litecoin basically, let me look back left a little bit for you guys. Okay, so see, we had these previous this previous harmonic here, right? So this was a bearish bat harmonic. We basically, because we had the 50% retrace, 50% here at the B, we were targeting basically 886. We got the 80% retrace here on the bat before then proceeding to sell off, right? So now what we're working on in yellow is a bearish shark harmonic, okay? So this yellow harmonic, we identified this previously up here, that it's going to morph into a bullish 5-0 after retracing 50% of the way from the C low to the D high, okay? So if we were to fib that from the C low to the D high, our 50% retrace is right here in the buy zone. It's this green line, okay? So that's what we're looking for there. Also, we look back left, we have this previous overhead resistance area where this previous X swing high point was put in on the bearish bat. So now we mark that area as critical overhead resistance here, okay? We marked that in this gray box. So let me zoom in on this for you, okay? So a couple things now started to happen. Basically, we had this completion area of this large bearish shark in yellow. That coincides now with another harmonic, which is a bearish cipher that we just painted in blue, and we're now proceeding to sell off from there, okay? So if we can sell off into this area, we're targeting, again, a couple of things. Let me clean up this buy zone so you guys can, again, see what we dialed in here. So we're targeting this previous neckline, okay? There was basically a neckline created here. Let me get rid of that. It's scrubby, but this was kind of a inverse head and shoulders here that had some kind of a neckline created. That neckline was actually lower. That neckline was down here. Okay, so anyways, that's kind of what we're looking for as support, all right? So again, we want to do our fib from our C swing low to our D of the shark, right? The yellow harmonic, and that gives us this 50% line here. So I'm gonna mark that 50 right here. I will turn that, we'll turn it blue so you guys can see it. I'll get rid of the fib. Okay, so this is what we just marked. That's the 50% fib, all right? That line is at $290, okay? $290. So second thing we'd be looking at, let's check out this recently developed harmonic. And you see how we just had a 1618 fall right into that zone here. So let's place another, basically another line there. And then I'll go ahead and get rid of the fib so you guys can see it. So now we can really dial this buy zone in, and we could target this area here as our future buy zone. Now that price is going to kind of make its way down into it, right? So yeah, that's kind of what we're looking for there. If we now want to even fine tune this a little more, dial it in, let me get rid of this guy so you can see what's happening here. And we have another basically X, A, B, C, D, 886, 886 retracement right here, pattern. So again, we have a buy zone that has a 1618, an 886, a 50% morph of a bullish shark. This is our target area, okay? So we want to make sure that we have this on our sights, okay? Look for it right here, somewhere in this area. I mean, ideally, you're gonna get some nasty price action tonight while everyone's sleeping or something. Some incoming volatility is bound to happen, you know what I mean? So, okay. Next, we have YFI. Okay, on YFI, let's zoom out a little bit here. We're looking for this area to down here as our long entry area. So this previous area is basically this kind of upsloping. Let me get rid of some of this for you guys. Okay, clean this up. Okay, here's what we're looking at, okay? So we basically have this upsloping trend line here, and we also are putting in consecutive higher lows. So ideally, we'd like to put in that third consecutive low, higher low, third higher low in this long entry target area, okay? If we can get that, we're going to be looking to shoot these highs up here, okay? So this is kind of how we're playing this for the next foreseeable future here. This would basically be kind of a target 3 up there, if you guys want to see it like that. Gosh, it just refuses. Huh. Okay, anyways, what we're looking for here, we have 2 targets. So again, target 1 comes from a measured move of this previous structure here, where we can take this measured move and we can paste it up here, okay? So this basically gives us target 1. So that's where that's coming from. And then target 2 is going to be the newly found harmonic that would develop, which would be at that point, a bearish butterfly. It would look something like this, and we'd be targeting target 2 would be the 1272. So right here we have a 1272 target of a butterfly here. So that's target 2, and then target 3 just came from the previous larger kind of structures, measured moves here. But ideally, let's just worry for now about these 2 guys, okay? So again, we're looking for a back test to fall into this area being identified down here as basically 32,000 up into the 33.5 long entry target area. That is where we want to be layering bids tonight to hopefully get this pullback, and then we'll send. Once we get that, we need to then worry about breaking that overhead resistance. So it'd be something like this, right? We have a drawback in here. We come up, we test this again. Ideally, we break through it, back test it, hit the first target, back test, hit the second target, okay? So that's what we're looking for on, excuse me, sorry guys. That's what we're looking for on YFI USDT, okay? Next, we have Dash. We had a request in the chat for Dash. Whoops, let me get rid of that. Okay, so requesting Dash now. All right, similar things happening here. Dash is actually holding up a little stronger than some of the others. It's already kind of broken through that overhead resistance. I don't know if we get this. It really just depends on Bitcoin, right? How far is Bitcoin going to let these alts retrace before the next move up? Dash may only give you this previous neckline before sending. So we just have to it's too early to tell right now on these alts. We really need Bitcoin to confirm bottom here. So okay, basically what we want to see is once Bitcoin kind of confirms, we just want to go back and check on all these various alts, see where we are on them, and then that'll give us a more clear picture on when it's time. But that being said, as long as you're not over leveraged and maybe you're even on spot or like 1x, 2x, 3x, some really low leverage on futures, you can just simply buy all and every dip that you get in the next 24 to 48 hours on basically all the alts that we have posted in the Discord under the alts tab in the Duck Lab. Anything that made the cut is a go for the next 24 to 48 hours to layer in. Just be mindful that there's going to be volatility. You may go underwater temporarily if you get in a little too soon, but as long as you're patient, ultimately you're going to see target 1 on Dash of 306 and target 2 on Dash at 378. So currently price sits at 264. Just buy up any and all dips. Again, wait for Bitcoin and Ethereum to turn, and then that's going to be the trigger across the board. Okay. Also, somebody's asking, when I draw these long entry areas, their duration is irrelevant. We could drag this to infinity. It doesn't matter how long we chop around. All that matters is we get into it and we get out of it. Okay. So duration is irrelevant for us, and it is also something we cannot predict, so we don't attempt to. Next coin we have here is Chainlink. We had a request as well for Link. So again, Link, see the difference on Link versus Dash. Okay, so on Dash we were up here already above this previous kind of support resistance line. That's our major area of interest at the moment that we have identified on across the board. Okay, so Dash is basically hanging out up here, whereas Chainlink is still underneath the resistance line. Okay, so we have to just let this one develop. Again, we'd be looking for possible help here from these this upsloping trend line, and maybe if we can get it, we get some sort of again bottom here, and that would kind of basically put in 3 consecutive higher lows. So giving us our 3rd higher low in this area somewhere here. Again, we don't know where it's all going to fall until it happens. So all we can do is basically layer as much as possible inside of these zones. And as price works its way down here into these buy zones, somewhere it's going to ride this trend line, fill your bids, and then run its way up. Okay. So again, buy the dip is the plan for the next 24 to 48 hours. You can have resting buy orders to bid low into these levels. Some of them might not all hit. It's part of the game, doesn't matter. Some of them will hit though, and those are the ones that will ride up to the next, for this next wave up. So yeah, that's Chainlink. Next we have this is Ethereum Classic. Been a while since we've had good news on Ethereum Classic. Okay, so Ethereum Classic, again, we're above this previous support resistance area. Maybe we just see a back test of this SR area, or maybe we see a back test a little bit lower, right? So it just depends, but ideally we want to just buy any of these dips, and then this is kind of your incoming structure, right? So if we can see something like this develop, then those are your green lights to buy. Again, your upsloping trend line, maybe you get even a little bit of a further dip. Either way, something like this is in the books. Okay, so we just don't know how bullish the trend is, right? How once the bulls see this discount across the board on alts and on You know, Bitcoin, Ethereum, the majors, all the alts, we see these structures developing, bullish structures that are ready to, you know, send price on most of these coins to what will ultimately be a new all-time high. You know, it's very possible that, you know, buyers step in and just soak up all of the supply, and there's just nothing left, and we just have no choice but to shoot up into the next range. Next, we have Maker. Maker's putting in more of a Bulkowski double bottom, where we have more of a equal lows here. Again, what we're looking for on this is, sorry, I was doing it on the 4-hour. Let me switch to 4-hour real quick. 4-hour, okay. And we're back. All right, so looking at it from even a further out, more significant 4-hour time frame, we can see here that we had this double bottom in price, almost putting in equal lows, okay? And as we're doing this, you know where it's even more apparent? I'm sorry, guys. Let me go one further out, and let's go to the daily on this. This is the one. So again, the more significant the time frame, the more significant the pattern, okay? The higher the time frame, the more significant the pattern, the stronger it will play out, the more it's kind of been developed. And here's basically what we're kind of looking for. So if you see on this MACD, again, we just have this kind of negative momentum just dying off, right? The bears just can't seem to push this down any further. So while you created this first low here, down where this first island is of negative momentum, that aligns with this first low here. And then you can see where we created the second island, that was with this second low. So we had equal lows in price here, and we put in a higher level of negative momentum and have now started to build into the positive territory. So target on Maker is going to be, again, a measured move of this structure, where we simply just take this measured move, and this comes from the previous close here to this current neckline, which comes from up here. And all we did is we took this measured move and we brought it over here, okay, and we just aligned it up here with price. So that's how we get the target, which for Maker would be 3,420 basically, okay? Next, we're looking at Stellar Lumens, XLM, Stellar Lumen. Okay, guys, so on this one, the red line down here, sorry about that. This line down here that I initially had drawn, that's kind of marking your stop. You basically don't want to lose these previous lows. Even this first one, we don't even want to lose, right? That's already going to be a red flag for us. So if we can stay above these previous lows, again, maybe we use the two lows and create structure as far as upsloping trend line would be concerned. At that point, we could clean this up a little bit here and potentially look again for Stellar Lumens to put in a third kind of 3 consecutive higher lows. It's kind of a almost what would be like a 3 rising valleys, just basically showing that price is just getting bought up, right? And we've met this heavy overhead where it just resistance, and we just cannot break that overhead resistance at 0.43 on Stellar. So 43 cents, almost 44 cents right there. If though and when we are able to break through this on this next test up here, that's when, you know, price is going to get sent. Okay, so again, we look for some chop down in here into our area of interest here. We layer, we buy this, bid it up, and we send, and we go test target 1, maybe back test a little bit, and then we sweep the highs. Okay, so that's the plan on XLM. Let's go over here to Monero, XMR Monero. Same thing on Monero. We have similar price action as we do on XLM. Seems like this one is already beginning to take off. Maybe it'll cool off now that Bitcoin, if and when we can see a pullback into 56.2. I mean, we basically almost got it last night when we had 56.6. So, I mean, we may never see it again. It's possible, but if that's the case, so what? We just wait for the short at that point, right? If we miss the long, we just be patient, sit on our hands, we wait for the short. But it seems like we're going to get it. So, maybe on Monero, all you get on a sell-off on Bitcoin and Ethereum is a back test of the previous support resistance area, and then we shoot the highs, back test this previous level here, and then we shoot the highs again. Okay, so we're just creating trend where trend is yet to be created. All right, that's what we're just looking for as possible areas to identify. Again, stop would be below here. We do not want to see a stop in that area. That would not be good. Okay, so we want to make sure we do not lose this area here. Okay, stop below that previous area. And if you guys need to see where that is without basically, we don't want to lose 203, basically 200. If we lose 200 on Monero, it would be all bad, especially considering we're up here at 266. If we lose 200, you know, that just means that everything failed. That would be just catastrophic failure, right? So we don't want to see that happening at all on Monero. So as long as we hold those levels, you can see more than likely these highs get shot. Okay, next we have Reef. On Reef, again, similar. You guys are seeing similarities for a reason, and you guys are seeing specific charts that were identified last night in the alts channel for a reason. Again, if your coin missed the cut, it wasn't because I don't like your coin or something. It's because the edge wasn't as clear. And if we have a very clear and discernible edge across different assets that we can get into, why are we worried about the ones that aren't as defined yet, right? We don't care about those ones. The underlying asset class is irrelevant. All that matters is the structure on the board, right? We're just looking at structure of the charts. Okay, so again, look at how we had a higher low put in on Reef, and on the MACD we are continuing to put in higher levels of negative momentum. So that is basically showing some bullish convergence where price is, you know, getting help to the upside here. So we can see this converging trend line is aligning down here with our lower levels of negative momentum on the MACD, as well as look at this on the RSI. Okay, so on the RSI we had a lower low, and now put in a higher low. So here is where we're looking for, again, this kind of rounding price action, which identifies continuation to the upside, right? So for Reef here, again, we're targeting a measured move, which we took from the previous candle closes to the neckline structure. We come up here, we copy and paste it, and this is how we end up with this target, take profit target 1. Take profit target 1 on Reef being 0.06, so 6 cents. Price is currently just shy of 4 cents. We would also be potentially putting in a little bit of harmonic action. The reason I don't have the harmonic marked out on this one like on others is due to this B pivot. Basically everything was good except the B, and you know, sometimes these wicks, they do that, and this is still probably going to play out and hit a target 2. So we still have to kind of be aware of it, right? We can't just assume because the harmonic was basically, we didn't want B to be higher than X. We wanted this to be basically like an 886. So if we would have fell right there, that was perfect. So look at the small invalidation, but did it really? Because it's not so much about the wicks. Sometimes that's just people aping it at the top, or the liquidation engines running too high. It's about the follow through price action, and look what happened after we did put in the B pivot. We sold off, okay? But when after selling off, all we did was put in a 786 retracement, and we put in a higher low. So ultimately we're still looking to shoot the highs. Looks like we're getting a little bit of a sell-off here. So maybe, just maybe, you guys can get some dip, find your way into this area here on Reef. It's going to be more like this. Again, as price develops, this trend line is changing, right? So as we're carrying through this trend line, we have to just adjust accordingly and develop accordingly, because our target area kind of moves as far as entry. So that's Reef. Next we have Zcash. Zcash, similar to Reef, okay? But the difference is look how the B on Zcash was the lower B anchor point. Remember on Reef we just saw this putting in a higher anchor point than the X. See how that looks scrubby? So this one put in the lower B. This is more of a textbook pattern. We also again have the lower levels of negative momentum, and again on the RSI we also, if you look, it's close, but that is a slightly higher high on the RSI. If we put in the low here and I were to be a straight line, you see how I have just a little bit of room to go up, and that just slightly little hidden thing is exactly what we're looking to identify, and that's exactly what's hiding from the rest of the retail traders, right? This is how we create our edge in a world where it's hard to create edges. So this is our edge, this is our edge, this is our harmonic, this is our structure, here's our support, here's our stop, here's our target. If and when we reach this target and we still are showing potential, you know, that we don't have the divergences developed on the bearish side yet, we could potentially target the next high, which would at this point be a 1618 target here on Reef. Okay, so it would look just something like this, and that would be how we would identify a potential take profit target 2 on Reef, or excuse me, on Zcash, which would be at 242. First target 211. I was talking about Reef because of the previous high on the B, okay? That's why Reef did not get the harmonic drawn. Reef just stayed like this, and Reef stayed like this, right? Does that make sense now? Moving on, we have Algorand. Let me see here. Again, similar things. I'm doing this so you guys can get this kind of beaten into your head, and then once you see that this happens and how it plays out and how the price was developed during this whole action, it'll be easier for you guys to identify this potential setup in the future, right? So again, what are we looking for here? We could almost paint this one clean. So we're looking for consecutive higher lows, okay? Higher lows signify continuation in a bullish trend here, okay? So if we were to get this third higher low here, it would be something around here. I'd say it's about, we'll call it about, yay. So we'd be now looking for a third higher low here, this trend line here, and again we have previous neckline created support resistance level that we are basically hanging around right at this moment, okay? So we're looking for price action to fall into this zone, back test this upsloping trend line again, come back out, back test this finally again as support, shoot the first high, back test again maybe where we've left here, shoot the high again, okay? First target is going to be this high here, and that's why I marked it that way. Also, that is going to be more than likely the structure of a measured move here, okay? So if we take this, and I'm doing a little more of conservative measured move, but you can see here how that happened, okay? So there's method to my madness. This is not just for no reason. So target 1 would look something like this, okay? So target 1 in green would be here, okay? Then we would take to the harmonic for target 2, and we would be looking for the 1618 of a bearish butterfly. So we had the swing point, swing high, swing low, swing high, swing low, swing high. 1618 would be, we'll call it right here. You can actually take another target here at the 1414. So we can mark you a 1414 first. And that could be kind of your target 2 area where traders would be taking profit on a potential long. So let me clean this up a little bit here. Target 2 would be here, 1414 fib extension, and then into what would then ultimately turn into target 3. Sorry, let me leave that there. Target 3 is up here, 1618 golden mean ratio, up into blue sky breakout, new all-time high on Algorand, would put us up in the area up here. Take profit moon bag, so we'll call this one moon target 3. Okay, moon target 3, target 2, target 1. This is how we're looking for structure on algo. Again, you don't want to see price action fall below 97 cents. 97-cent loss would be bad. Target 1, 166. Target 2, 225. Target 3, front run 2 and 250. Next, we have AVAX. Again, I'm like a broken record here tonight, but that's for a reason. It's because these patterns develop across these altcoins like this, similar across, make similar patterns across the board because they're all reacting to the majors similarly, right? They're reacting to Bitcoin and Ethereum's price action. So that's why we find these repeating themselves. And again, we're looking at only distinctive coins here. We're not looking at everything, okay? These were selectively chosen. So we have targets identified for AVAX with our stop identified. Okay, so for starters, you can say our stop, we don't want to fall below 2350, okay? So stop below 2350. Take profit target 1 is basically 47, kind of like $48 basically. Take profit target 2 is going to be $54.32, $54 front run. And again, this will be our moon bag target. So we'll call this target the moon. And that is going to be up at $69. Okay, so again, we could look at a potential harmonic structure from X high, A low, B pivot anchor point, C low, higher high, with a 1272 up here is what I was targeting, the 1272 fib extension, and you can see that by fibbing from the X high to the A low, and you can see that the yellow line there's the 1272 fib extension. You'll see why didn't my target hit it? It's because we want to make sure that we get filled, so we front run. Okay, we front run major targets in blue sky breakout like that because we don't care about those last few cents. All we care about is filling a limit order in our take profit target area. Okay, simple as that. This is Litecoin. We already went over Litecoin. Let me just check on BNB real quick. Just wanted to see this. This has kind of been really a telltale sign here for us recently. Looking over to the BNB chart just to see how things are aligning, along with keeping, of course, Bitcoin and Ethereum on the radar. But BNB being kind of one of the secondary majors, whatever you kind of want to call it. So I just wanted to keep an eye on it again. Looks like our overhead resistance is holding. Looks like our buy zone is developing very nicely. And we had a very good kind of swing high failure pattern right here on a low time frame where traders were not able to settle back above 350. Currently, if you wanted to, you could be in a stop loss or in a trade here with your stop above the previous high over here, and your target being down here in the buy zone, I mean, that is a really sweet setup at the moment. Even if you want to be a little more conservative and just look to sweep these previous lows, right? So ideally, the bots are going to be looking to sweep people stops below those previous areas. Just think about it. Our stop right now is above these previous areas, right? So think about that from the opposite direction. Somebody who had a stop down here, maybe they took a trade here, maybe they have their stop down in this area. They were targeting the highs, but they were too early. Price is going to reverse. This is when we come and we hunt their stops. Okay, so that's what we're looking for. So again, something down here. Okay, double bottom, send it. All right, let's go to Sol to USDT. Sol has been really holding up really nice. I don't understand how this thing was so strong. It just really shot through all the harmonics. So let's see what kind of developed here. This is not a good sign at the moment. Okay, so what we're seeing here is RSI bearish divergence developing as we price put in a high and then a higher high on price. We had lower levels of relative strength. Okay, so we're selling that bearishly. We're also looking like the momentum on the MACD is turning and waning and now turning negative, because you can see we're finally printing bearish momentum on Sol. Okay, so if I were Sol and I was looking at a potential kind of what's going on here, look, this is basically this is a future forecast of everything we just looked at tonight. Okay, so it's on a smaller kind of structure here, but watch this. Okay, so Sol had a low on price, and then we proceeded to put in another higher low on price. Okay, as that happened, Sol also painted this basically neckline here. Okay, so as we had this neckline painted, it was just so bullish that after putting in this second higher low, it just never came back, right? Even here, it tried to come back and back test it, but it was not able to. It really only ever got to this area here, right? Previous high, looking back left, was all it was able to muster as far as that retrace, when other coins, other underperforming assets, some of them haven't even broken this neckline. This is already played out. Okay, so watch. First target, again, on everything was a measured move of a structure. Okay, so we take the measured move of the structure, we align it, and this is how we ended up hitting take profit target 1. Did we sell off after hitting this target area? Yes. So would we have been smart taking a target there along there? Of course. I mean a profit there, because look, price, we went up, we hit the area, we sold off. You gave most of it back. Depending, say you entered on this breakout of the previous kind of neckline, and you bought here. Well, if you held through that, you pretty much gave it all back. It came back to entry. This is why we have a take profit target 1. Okay, take profit target 1. It's not that we like to, we're not trying to pull out early of the market here. We're just trying to secure gains, right? Nobody ever went poor taking profit. So next we have the harmonic, which is target 2. So X, A, B high 886, low 886, target 1272, 1618. So 1618 would have been right here, 1618. That, look at how it hit that right to the T. Okay, so again, we identified take profit target level 1. We have a harmonic that also hit right where take profit target 1 was. This was your area of profit. Yes, it went up higher. This is crypto. This crazy shit happens. But initially it was respected. Back tested the B, and then it ran again. But that's if you took a long down here, like we're doing across the board kind of tonight. This is your pullback that we're looking for right here. Okay, so this red candle, this is you know, imagine this little pullback, okay, across some of these other alts. That would be your buy entry somewhere in that area. Your stop would have been below the C. Your first and your take profit target area would have been up in this zone, okay? So that's how you would have taken this trade on Sol. Once it leaves that area, it's you just let things kind of settle and you develop, you just let something else develop, right? So yeah, that's that. We had another request for the VeChain. So VeChain, we have similar structure here where we're putting in consecutive higher lows. So we have a low in price, a higher low, a third higher low. So picture these as kind of almost like valleys, okay? So if I were a valley here and I made one valley, okay, then a higher valley, okay, and now a third higher valley, okay, so this is called three rising valleys. Three rising valleys is the Bulkowski reversal pattern, okay. So on the three rising valleys, we have this upsloping trend line that we have been you know, tested it one, created it, back tested it once as support, back tested it a third time as support, and now we're running. We're attempting to penetrate that overhead resistance, but again, depending on Bitcoin, this may sell off one more, even fourth time. Just really depends. You could see something like this sell off again and then run the highs, okay? So that's what we're looking for on VeChain. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed the stream tonight. I hope everything ran a little smooth, a little more smoothly for everybody. Also, we're attempting to record this right now, so I'm gonna see how that works out, and if we can get a recording, I will create and post in a recorded stream channel in the Discord, so you guys can reference back to these videos, or for those of you who missed it, can go back in and watch them. If I missed anything, if you guys had requested something that I missed, just at me in the chat, and we can see if we could get things covered going throughout the evening. But ideally, let's look for a dip, and we are going to buy up all the dips. Okay, we're going to shoot the highs. So across anything you see in the alts channel, in the Duck Lab, long it. All right. Have a good evening, gentlemen.